Congratulations on being newly listed on the CSE. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Newly Listed. I'm your host, Barrington Miller, Director of Issuer Engagement at the Canadian Securities Exchange. And today I'm here with Martin Pawlitschek, President and CEO of Sanu Gold Corp. Martin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Barrington. It's a pleasure to be with you on this show, and I'll be glad to introduce the company and answer any questions.
That's perfect. Well, why don't we jump right into it? Tell us about Sanu Gold.
Sanu Gold recently listed on the CSE. We've worked in the background in Guinea there for the last couple of years. And we essentially are a gold exploration company with a portfolio of 3 exploration permits that are quite advanced in Guinea's Siguiri Basin. The Siguiri Basin is quite a well-endowed gold province with a couple of major mines in operation, and at least 2 or 3 more operations going into production over the coming 12 to 18, 24 months, I believe. We've managed to secure a highly prospective portfolio of advanced exploration assets with kilometer scale gold trends already defined, and we're poised to drill test a few of them in the coming months.
How did you get to be here in your position as President and CEO? Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
I'm a geologist. I've worked in gold exploration and exploration for base metals across Australia, Southeast Asia, large parts of Africa and South America for the last 25 odd years. And I've been involved in greenfields exploration, drill outs, and some projects I've been involved in getting them into production, although my forte is more the exploration side. And then since 2018, actually, with my 2 co-founders, Siguiri Basin and Pawlitschek, we've formed a company and started looking for gold assets in West Africa. And initially, we applied for some of our own ground in different countries, but weren't quite successful. And then we came across these assets in Guinea that were held privately by small Guinean companies that had actually invested and done some work on their properties, and were very commercial in their outlook. So we managed to negotiate a reasonable earn-in structure, invest some early money to advance the work even further, and then eventually we ended up teaming up with our other team members in Canada, Vince Sorachi and Gavin Cooper, and basically listed the assets in Sanu Gold.
For our audience and our listeners who may not have any experience or knowledge about West Africa, what is it like? Yeah, just give us a little bit
I've worked in West Africa since early 2000s, pretty much. It's very well endowed in terms of geology for gold. There's a geological province that's extensive right through West Africa, through many countries from Senegal all the way over to Niger and Cameroon. It's called the Birimian. It's a series of greenstone belts and granites and big structures running through them. And virtually all of them have gold mineralization and producing gold mines in them. There's some very big mines in Guinea, obviously, but also in the neighboring countries in the same age, same type rock packages. So it's a very prolific province. But on top of, and fairly underexplored, large parts of it, especially in Guinea, have hardly seen any drilling. No drilling has ever been taken place on our 3 permits, for example, even though we have gold anomalies defined from surface geochemistry and auger geochemistry up to 7-8 kilometers long, clearly lining up with structures, clearly with gold in the weathered bedrock from rock chip sampling, but not a single drill hole. The other part that's really attractive about most West African jurisdictions is that once you have your exploration permit, you can actually go and work. You can drill on the ground pretty quickly. You don't have to spend another 3 to 12 months permitting drill access and the like, which is a huge advantage in this day and age. Many other countries have been involved in projects, and you have good geology, and then you raise the money, but then you can't do any work for 12 months because of permitting. We don't have that issue in West Africa. So we're actually drilling right now.
No,
which
that's
is great.
that is great, because we've spoken with a lot of other companies, and we do hear about the red tape and the delays and the speed bumps and all of those things. So that's really good to hear. Can you tell us
Yeah.
about your team and the people that you work alongside with?
Okay, I've mentioned our chairman, Vince Sorachi. He's based over in Vancouver, in-depth public markets experience. And then our CFO, also based in Vancouver, Gavin Cooper, many years of experience in public markets as a CFO and accounting. And then in Guinea, we have a very strong team of West Africans on the ground, led on the technical side by Dr. Serene Jeng, a Senegalese geologist that has worked many years across West Africa, but more recently in Guinea, in the Siguiri Basin. He was involved in these permits even 3-4 years ago. He's actually got a PhD from Queen's University in Canada, so fully bilingual. He's seen both ends, the boots on the ground in West Africa, but also the more corporate side in Canada. So couldn't think of a better person to lead the team on the ground. He's supported by a few other seasoned West African geologists, and the team of Guinean technicians and younger geologists. We also have a very strong country manager who's our partner on these permits. Sheikh Traore, as we know him, well experienced in terms of logistics and admin and managing the expectations of the government and the government liaison. And then on that side also we have Abdurrahman Jallo, who's got a long background with some of the operating mines in Guinea, on the admin and logistics side as well. So we can get our geology team focused on geology, and we have good backup, regarding everything that's not geology, like logistics and accounting and that sort of thing.
We can't overstate just how important it is, not only to have a very competent, experienced management team, but the people on the ground and the people that have experience in the region, jurisdiction, or country that one is operating in. So I'm sure our investors and our listeners are glad to hear about those fine people. Now, gold has been in the news, all kinds, and it just seems that it keeps going up and up and up. What's your outlook on the landscape for gold in the next few years, few months, few years, whatever time frame you want to give it?
I'm personally quite bullish on gold, given the global fiscal policies over the last few decades in all the major Western economies, at least. I think it'll continue to drive the demand for investment gold as a hedge against inflation. And then more importantly, on the exploration side, there has been severe underinvestment for the last, call it a decade almost, to bring new resources, online, basically. So, anybody that can get in there now and secure a quality piece of ground and develop the assets, I think will do well, either in getting funding to build an asset or to sell it. So I'm very bullish on it going forward.
Now I'm going to narrow it down. What do would-be investors, our listeners and audience, have to look forward to with Sanu Gold in roughly that same time frame? We can start in the next 3 to 6, but if you can go a year out or longer,
okay,
whatever you're able to tell us.
Okay, all right. I can tell you right now that we've got a drill rig on our Dinah property, drill testing a very extensive, 3 out of 6 very extensive gold structures that we've delineated earlier this year. We're putting holes into the ground right now, and I think we put an update out on that last week. I encourage you to have a look at the website. After that, we will move the rig over to our Digifara property, where we have also got some very extensive auger anomalies and rock chip anomalies defined from the work earlier this year. We'll be doing some initial testing there of our priority targets. And potentially when we have assays back from these two programs, so that's two programs of roughly 2,500 meters, so 5,000 meters combined, that should be completed in August and September. Let's call it by late September, everything should be done. When we have assays back late September, early October for the final assays, we intend to go back with a second round of drilling there, probably mid to late October for another 5,000 meters. And then in January, we'll start moving over to our Bantambai property, where we've got some very interesting structural setups with some very extensive artisanal workings. And we've taken some bedrock samples out of these workings. They've yielded some very high-grade rock chip results, so very juicy looking structures, good size, never drilled. So January, we'll be hitting that with a 5,000 meter maiden drilling program. And then any results, obviously, on Adina and Digifara, we'll be looking to follow up as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love talking with CEOs who are geologists as well, and to hear all that detailed information, which is wonderful. Martin, on behalf of the Canadian Securities Exchange, I just want to say thank you for choosing us as your home exchange, your destination for the capital markets. And we wish you nothing but continued success. Hope you find lots of gold. And I've been your host, Barrington Miller. This has been an episode of Newly Listed with Sanu Gold. And where can people find out more information about your company?
On our website, sanugold.com.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you. And on behalf of the CSE, thank you to our listeners for joining us on another episode of Newly Listed. I've been your host, Barrington Miller, and we'll see you on the next episode.